What's up, you guys? It's Shayla. Welcome back to my channel. Today is a very different kind of video. I am going to be doing a very personal Q&A. I've been really wanting to do this for a while, and I was just driving home from Bernie, and I was just thinking to myself, you know what? Like, I really want to share more about myself with you guys, help you guys with things that I went through, with things I'm going through, and you know, just getting to know you guys. I want you guys to get to know me and get to know my views on things. Maybe you agree, maybe you disagree, maybe you can relate, maybe you're like, oh, that's different. At first, when I was driving home, I was like, I need to, like, I wonder what outfit I'm gonna wear. I gotta do all my makeup again. I gotta put on, like, what lip color. And I was just like, you know what? This is a really real personal Q&A. I'm just gonna go makeupless. I'm gonna go in my favorite comfy sweatpants and sweatshirt attire. That's gonna be what we're doing. And the thing about these though is they are all going to be anonymous. So I'm not going to be captioning anybody or giving anybody a shout out, because I wanted this to be more of like a personal question and answer, not more of a shout out kind of fun question thing. I'm gonna start with more of like lighthearted personal questions. Question that I got that I thought was really cute was, what weird food combinations do you enjoy? P.S. I love you so much. And I love you too, you have no idea. And weird food combinations. I like to put egg whites in my oatmeal. You probably saw that in my Q&A. I mean in my Q&A. You probably saw that in my what I eat in a day. I put egg whites in my oatmeal. I love egg whites and potatoes. I don't think that's weird. Okay, this is kind of a more serious question. If you could talk about your different ways that you deal with your anxiety. I've been living with an anxiety disorder my whole life, and I still struggle with it. And I'm 19, so please give me any tips that you can. I have had anxiety my whole life, and I know that like anxiety or whatever, everyone says anxiety, everyone has it these days. Like, no, if you have anxiety, you know exactly what I'm talking about. It's not something you can control. I'm actually on medication for it, if I'm being for real. I am on medication for it. I had panic attacks in kindergarten where my teacher literally would call my parents and say, hey, like, you need to come pick Shayla up. I don't know what's going on with her. Our old house, like when I was little, that was like kind of like a balcony. You could see like the first floor, and the stairs like went up, and then my room was here, and then there was like a catwalk, and you could see over to the first floor, the catwalk, and then all the other rooms. And I would literally stand right here and be on the ground, throwing a fit, screaming, crying, saying my heart was beating out of my chest. And I was like little, so like all I could say was like, my heart, and I would like scream because I was so scared to walk across the catwalk. I had test anxiety growing up. Like, that was very difficult. I would have to study really hard so I would remember everything if I ended up like blanking out or whatever. I have tips with that too. But I would say the biggest tips I have for that is to honestly, what I do, if it's like school related or if it's like work related, I would take my planner, or like a giant calendar, get a bunch of fun colored pens, and just write absolutely everything day by day out on the calendar. And like, that sounds absolutely ridiculous and redundant, but you guys, it helps so much because you're not thinking about everything at once. You can take one day at a time. And that's kind of my tip for you, is kind of give it to God and just say like, Lord, open my eyes. Today is today. I need to be present in this day, and just look at the tasks that you need to do that day. Try not to look at what you have to do the next week or for the weekend. What is your love language and your advice on having a godly relationship? I didn't really know what love language is. I feel like I should know that, but I just don't. But having a godly relationship, I would say the number one thing that Wyatt and I do is we read the Bible together. Whether it's a chapter, whether it's a few verses, and afterward we just talk about it and try to relate it to something. Or like, just think, what did we read the other night? We read a chapter of Ephesians? No, Corinthians, 1 Corinthians. If you haven't read 1 Corinthians, you should read 1 Corinthians. But we read a chapter of 1 Corinthians, and like afterward I was just like, okay, babe, what'd you think about that? Like, what'd you get from that? And it just starts a conversation. You start talking about life and relating it to things, and that's it. So I don't really get to see him much, and the majority of our conversations are at night after our whole day, because I'm working, he now is working, and so we text, we text throughout the day. We give each other like phone calls like, hey, thinking about you, or stuff like that during the day. But our majority of conversation will be at night. So I usually would read a chapter, read a few verses, pray with him right before bed. Helped us a lot with like toning in on, where our relationship is centered. So God's here and we're around it. And I just think that's really important. What do you want people to think about you guys? Do you want to exude Christ? Do you want to exude God and let other people look at you guys and be like, I want that? Like, what in the world do they have that me and my boyfriend don't have? I want people to be able to do that with us. And that's the only way you can do that is with God in the middle of you guys. Which brings me to the next question that I got, I don't know how many times, you guys. I got maybe 5 or 6 times. Are you and Wyatt waiting till marriage? Are you and Wyatt waiting till marriage? I got a lot of these questions. The quick, short, and simple answer is yes, we are. We believe very strongly in that. There's something very sacred and sweet about waiting for sex until marriage. I think it is something that is a covenant, and it's meant to be for marriage, and it's designed by God. I don't think sex is bad by any means. I just think it is made for marriage. I think it's an entire chapter in a book that I don't want to open with Wyatt until we're married. Just something that we take a lot of pride in, that takes a lot of self-discipline. Of course it's not easy, especially when you love someone, you've dated someone for over a year, you're really attracted to someone. That doesn't make it easy. But if you continue to not do it, it just ends up being this really overwhelming feeling of like, wow, I did that. And so worth waiting for. But I do have a lot of friends that do, and I do have a lot of friends that don't. I have a huge combination of friends that do and don't. You can talk to any of them. I don't judge you at all for what you do. I just personally believe that this is something that I deeply, deeply believe. I never feel guilty or shameful about it at all. It's my decision, it's my life. And and Wyatt and I's relationship is so healthy and it's so amazing. I know you guys like seeing him on the vlogs, but we're just so happy to be around each other. And without that lust in the middle of it, it's so light and it's free. And I'm able to be in love with just like, I don't know, it's just so easy. It's so easy. There's nothing complicated about it at all. Yeah, if you guys ever, get ridiculed for it, or like, oh my God, Shayla, you're 23, or you're 23 and oh my gosh, he's so cute, why haven't you banged him yet? Like, I literally get stuff like that. Or, hey, how do you know that he's gonna be good if you guys get married? Like, if we do things right, and if we wait, and we are doing everything we can to glorify God, he's gonna bless us in any kind of way. I don't judge you at all if you are. Like I said, all my friends that do, I literally love them all the same. I don't judge anybody for anything like that. Okay, I really loved this question. It's kind of going back to being something kind of lighthearted, but it's, do you feel that your family would be the same if they were all boys in the house? P.S. I love you, and I love you too, whoever you were, because I can't say your name on here. But absolutely my family would be different if it was all boys. Like, I can't even imagine. Having one brother. Absolutely, it would be different. I can't even imagine what life would be like with a brother. I'm obsessed with my sisters. I love hanging out with them. Where do you see yourself in 5 years? Or where would you like to see yourself in 5 years? I would like to see myself married with kiddos. That's kind of like so stereotypical, but like I've always wanted to be a mom since I was a little kid. It's kind of like my dream job. It was kind of like a 3-parted question. When did you become a Christian? I became a Christian. Well, basically, I was grown up. So that didn't even make sense. I grew up in a Christian household, so I got baptized when I was 8. So I knew who God was and everything. But I would say my actual spiritual relationship, my deep connection with God, didn't actually start until my freshman year of college, when I was away from my parents, away from my family, and had to figure out life out by myself. What do you do about people who harp on you for being a Christian? I actually never get, well, no, that's a lie. sometimes I get called like Bible beater, or oh, you're too good to come out and party, or oh, you're too, oh, like don't ask her, she won't come, she's gonna go home and go to bed or something, or like Wyatt's not here, and so don't ask her, she won't go out with you. And it's like, I don't care. Like, if you want to think that way, think that way. I am so not like that. Okay guys, that is all I'm going to answer. I hope I answered your questions. If I didn't, I know I had a lot in my DMs for this. So if you guys want me to do more personal Q&As, more videos about Christ, more faith-based things, way to study my Bible, like that kind of thing, just let me know in the comments below. I'd love to do that. I just never have really got into that realm. So I guess this is like a good start into going into that path. If you guys have any questions or you just need to talk to somebody, DM me on my Instagram. It's right here. It's Shayla Kelly. And I'll get back to you. I'll definitely DM you back. So yeah, DM me. But I love you guys so, so much. And I hope you're having a good morning, afternoon, evening, whenever you're watching this. And I love you. Bye.